Let's get it the fuck going. First of all, shout out to our sponsors, PrimeXBT. You guys have absolutely been crushing it. I got a message from my contact at Prime that said we had a killer month, which means a bunch of you guys are signing up with that link, and even more of you are depositing and actually using the exchange. So if you want to know how you can help me out, you want to know how you can support me, use that link in the description, deposit some money, use the code MAIN50 before you deposit for a deposit bonus. Start trading, following along with me in my charts. I get a little kickback for that. So thank you so much to all of y'all that have signed up and deposited on my leak. I really do genuinely appreciate that. So shout out to the Prime team. With that being said, let's get into the charts. So let's start by looking at the last setup that we took on stream. We've absolutely smashed it over the month of July. The month of July has been absolutely destroyed. Fucking killed it, put it in the coffin, put it 6 feet deep. It's over. I've taken 6 trades in the month of July. I've won 5 of them, and I got stopped out on 1 of them. And I'm extremely happy with that performance. And I know that a bunch of you are killing it as well. I've received several DMs, people being on winning streaks, following my trades, making money. So I'm super stoked, super happy to hear that y'all are making some money. That's exactly what I love to fucking see. Honestly, like that, and then the messages you guys send me, it makes it all worthwhile for me. So I appreciate that. Keep sending those messages my way. I love to hear about it. I love to hear about your guys' success, and if you want me to share it, and if you're okay with me sharing it, I love sharing it as well with the rest of CT. So we've been on an absolute heater of heaters, and if you remember the video I did, I think 2 weeks ago, where I went over the 50K account balance, risking 2% per trade. With all the trades we had taken up to that point, we had taken 4 trades or something like that. You could have netted, some serious cash for the month of July. So far, let's assume 2% risk on a 50K account, and you're winning 5 out of 6 trades. Each trade was a minimum of 3-to-1 risk reward. So that's pretty good fucking money that you're making on a 50K account. You guys can do the math. I did that video, I think 2 streams ago, where I went through the breakdown of what each trade would have paid out based on the risk reward. Risking 2%, right, which would be $1,000, right? $1,000, right, would be your risk. So if you're winning $3,000 on 5 trades, that's 15 grand. You lose 1 trade at $1,000 minus 1K, all of a sudden you've had yourself a $14,000 month on a 50K account. That's pretty fucking good, and that's a very attainable account balance, right? That's very attainable, and that's proper risk management, 2% risk per trade. Each trade calculated. So hopefully you guys are crushing it, man. I really think everyone has been doing well based on just the DMs and the interactions I've been getting lately on Twitter, and that makes me really happy. So I'm going to review the most recent trade that we took, and I will explain kind of my thought process behind it, and then I'll talk about what I think happens next here for Bitcoin. So this was posted in advance on Discord. I don't remember what I was doing exactly this day and why I didn't post it on Twitter before it happened, but I don't post everything on Twitter, but I do post pretty much every trade, or most of the trades at least, that I take on Discord before they happen. So that's where this screenshot came from. This screenshot was from Discord. Basically, we had this 12-hour order block here. That's what this gray box is. It broke market structure. We came back, retested it. I said, okay, I'm looking to short, stop above here. You could have had your stop above here, obviously, but I dialed into the hourly. So the 12-hour setup, your stop would have been above this high, but I dialed in on the hourly. I saw an SFP. I said, okay, that's going to let me get a tighter risk reward. My entry was at 22,680. Stop up here, targeting a move back into the range. There's the result, right? Here's your retest here. Stop above here. My entry, 22,670. And then we're within this large trading range still. And so when we came into the mid-range here, we ran a bunch of lows here, ran this low, ran this low. I said, now it's time to TP. So I got out. This was a great trade for me. Looking at it here, I'll show you what the risk reward was. And a bunch of you guys got in this trade because a bunch of people, I posted the setup, and I had people in the Discord who had a better entry than me. I posted the setup and they were telling me, they're like, oh dude, I'm already in and my entry is better than your entry. So I got out around 5R. My risk reward was not quite this good because I did take some profit on this first dump. I closed about 25% of my position. I closed another 25%. And then when we had this SFP here happen, we ran these final lows. We ran these lows here finally. Once that happened, I closed the rest of the position. So mine was not quite 5R. It was closer to like 4R, but still a great trade. Again, 50K account, 2% risk, a 4R trade, right? That's netting you $4,000 in a day. Very attainable, very doable. Again, you do not need that many trades to make good ass money. Again, right? We had long number 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the loss, this long. I tried to long the range high retest and then killed this short. So that's 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, 4 trades. 5th trade here was a loss. 6th trade was a win. 5 for 6. You can absolutely make a living hitting that many trades in a month. Super clean trading environment. Bitcoin was not going parabolic. Altcoins were not going parabolic, and you can make some good ass money in these trading environments, especially as your account grows. On a 50K account, risking 2%, you're making over 5 figures in that month. That's pretty damn good. So obviously the range high retest trade, we got wrong here. I was expecting this breakout, right? We got the breakout long. We closed it once we ran up here. And I said, okay, let's see if we can now flip this critical range high as support and then maybe get one more extension up. I wanted to see us potentially fill in some of this fair value gap here. Maybe a move as high as here, right? That was the plan if we were to hold here. It's if then, right? That's all that matters. Didn't happen. Right? So I got stopped out. We had a little bit of a bounce. I was in profit. Boom. Stopped out. On this move down, I ended up closing my long because my stop was initially down here. But when we pulled back into the range, I closed my long. What do? Do I sit on my hands? Do I cry about losing some money? Or do I sack up and I say, okay, on to the next trade. Bearish order block here. Broke market structure. Pull back. I'm looking for shorts. Made all the money I lost on this trade back and more, right? So you have to have that short attention span in trading. It's not about what happened in my last trade. You take your trade, you live with the result, you move on to the next one. You cannot go back in time and be like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done this. I wish I wouldn't have done that. It's the exact same as life, right? No use crying over spilt milk. It's already done. On to the next trade. And if I would have been a whiny little bitch worrying about, oh, I fucked this trade up, I can't believe it, oh, I need to long again. Instead, I'm like a robot. Okay, I got stopped out. We broke market structure to the downside. Boom, I'm now bearish, looking for a retest of a bearish order block to get in shorts. Next thing you know, literally 2 days later, I'm shorting, caught the top of the move, made all that money back I lost and more, and now I'm on to the next trade. This trade is now closed. It's wiped from my memory. I'm on to the next one. What do I think is going to happen next here? We are at mid-range support. So the reason I closed my shorts is because we ran this low. We're at the support on the mid-range. And if you look at the daily, we do have a bullish order block here. So we have a bullish order block here at key SR. So there could be an argument to be made that this is going to be a potential higher low. And we're going to see continuation to the upside from here. I don't know for sure, but to me, based on us being at the mid-range, us having this down candle before the up move that broke market structure, right? Broke all this market structure. There could be a bounce from here. This is an area where price may find support. So I am happy to, at the very least, close my shorts. Not necessarily just aping into longs, but definitely ready to close my shorts. You also have our fib here. There's your fib. We're right at the 62% retracement, 50% of this range. So there's a lot of confluence here that we could put in a higher low. Now, what else would I want to see? Well, I'd probably want to see stocks look like they're ready to turn around. That's something I'm going to want to look at. I'm going to want to look at the dollar. Is the dollar bullish? Is the dollar bearish, right? Is this just going to keep on trucking up, or is this due for a little bit of a pullback? But at least just looking at Bitcoin, there's reason enough to believe that this is an area where we're at the very least going to consolidate. Now, something that I said on the podcast that I did with Luke Martin. So I hope you guys watched that. I had a really fun time doing that. We're going to turn that into a weekly recurring segment where it's Luke and I, we're shooting the shit. We'll talk a little bit about price. We'll talk about what's happened on CT and in crypto in general over the last week. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. The feedback so far has been super positive. Let me know if you guys like that. But what I talked about in that video was it's very rare that the first dump, when price craters, right, it has a huge sell-off, the first dump is just the bottom, and then we do this. What you usually see is some sort of range form, and we usually come very fucking close to this low. If this was the bottom, let's assume for a second that the price is going to bottom here. The chances of us just doing this, very low in my opinion. Usually what happens is we get some sort of range where it attempts to break out a few times, and then it tests the low, the initial low, and then it breaks out. That's how pretty much every bottom has formed. Usually the people who bought this, they got to sweat a little, right? And so if you go and look here, it's exactly what happened in this bottom, right? You thought, like, people who bought this initial low here, big range, and then boom, it comes all the way back down to that low after multiple attempts. People thought we were going to break out here. They thought we were going to break out here. They thought we were going to break out here. And it comes all the way back down to the low. Then we get the breakout. There's the clean range high retest and the move, right? Same thing happened at 3K. People thought, okay, I got the bottom here. Attempt to break out, comes all the way back down to that low, retest that area, and then you get the proper breakout. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get something similar here. If we get something similar here where yes, this is going to come back and it's going to challenge that 17K low. Does it make a new low? I don't know, but I would not be surprised at all if we trade back into the range low here. So enough reason for me, order block, mid-range for me to close my short, but I'm absolutely looking, based on this looking like a very obvious deviation, move above, bearish retest, boom. I'm looking for us to probably bounce a bit and then probably sell through here. So gun to my head, I think we probably come up and test this area. And then I'm looking to short this for another leg down towards the range low. Do we make a new low after that? I don't know. But right now, I do think we're in line for a bounce because of this order block here and this support. Now, where's that bounce gonna go to? I'm looking up into this area here. I know this looks like huge levels, right? But basically, I'm watching for us to bounce from here up towards 22, maybe as high as 22.5, maybe back into the range high. But then I'm looking for opportunities to short here. So if we see PA similar to here, right? Bearish order block. We came up here, SFP, sold off. I'm looking for the same thing here. Bearish order block. If we move up here and then put in an SFP, I'm looking to short for a potential leg down. So that's what I'm watching for on Bitcoin. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's take a look at Ethereum here, guys. So Ethereum getting a similar bounce to Bitcoin. Personally, I still think that there's a very good chance that you get to buy Ethereum below $1,000 again, or at least very close. But if I'm just looking at Ethereum just based on this chart right here, looking at this right now. So these candles, looking how they look, this reaction, right? Same as Bitcoin. Where did we bounce from? There's that fresh order block right there, right? Gun to my head though on Ethereum, I think likely we trade back into here, right? Back into this 3-day demand. I think this is a very nice move we've had on Ethereum, right? People are, short memories. It's a bull market again, right? Ethereum went from 9 something to 1600, right? So it had a 60+% move in the last 2 weeks, right? That's a big move. So I do think it's potentially due for a little bit of a cool off. And if we do get that cool off, I'm looking to buy Ethereum back towards this 3-day demand here, lining up right with my OTE. So that's, anywhere from 1100 to 1200 area, possibly a little lower. Would not be surprised at all if we see something like this happen on Ethereum. And that would be an area where I'd be looking to long again. This would also line up with Bitcoin trading back towards, kind of 18 to 19K. Would be very similar. So that's what I'm looking at Ethereum high time frame. I think some sort of retracement into this trading range. So this is your trading range here. pull back into this range, into this demand. That's where I'd be looking to get high time frame bullish again, based on this 65% rally that we just had. Looking at this on the lower time frame, similar to Bitcoin, probably a little more juice to the upside and then potentially another leg down. We had a clear price floor here that broke down. So if I had to guess, I think something like this, up into here, look for weakness, back below this price floor that defines your risk, short this for another leg down into that high time frame target I shared. 1, 2 would be clear targets here. So that's what I'd be looking for on Ethereum here, right? A move up, deviate above this level. I think that's a super clean setup here. You have a very clear level right there. Bounce, 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 breakdown. We're now retesting it from the underside. If it's able to trade above here and then back below, that's super clear, right? That's one of those setups I always talk about, right? The over-under setup. Beautiful setup if it plays out like this, because then you have a clear deviation which defines your risk. Now you're looking for shorts on any sort of pullback here. Risk is clearly defined. Target 1, target 2. So that would be what I'm looking for on Ethereum. So that would be confluent with Bitcoin moving to 21.8, 2200. Ethereum gets above 1500 again briefly and then sells off. So that's what I'm looking for across the board. Bitcoin, I gave this chart out as well on Twitter. Right when we were trading up here, I said you have a super clear level here, the range high. If we're able to hold the range high, looking for longs. If we lose the range high, looking for shorts, and then your risk is defined as the deviation, right? So on your short setups here, your initial risk was up here, and then we moved it down to here because we were able to refine, and then we refined it even further on the low time frame. I'm talking about a very similar type of setup here on Ethereum, right? Very similar in that you have a clear defined level. If we trade above and then back below, your risk is defined. It makes it very simple because you're wrong. If you're short biased and we get back, if we trade back like this, you're obviously wrong. Now you could be long biased with your stop there. But clear level, those I like. So I really like how this is shaping up here because this gives you a clear level. If you're a trend line trader, right? What would this be? Back test, short. Horizontal trader, deviation, short. Same setup though, right? There's the trend line setup. It's the exact same type of setup. Just depends how you look at it. Bro, send me some bucks, man. I don't need it. It's just the thought that counts. Start off here. I got a nice little clink. Got a little mega pint, as Johnny Depp would call it, a little mega pint of wine going here. That's that good shit. I don't know what that means. I'm literally drinking a fucking pint of wine. Hopefully, it's too late in the day for Jane to join the chat. So I'm just praying at this point that she is either asleep or preferably dead. Are you talking to me? Because if you are, go fuck yourself. If you're talking to someone else, then carry on. You need a wide lens for that neck, bro. Fuck you. I mean that sincerely. We need Jane. No, we don't. So I've done pretty well. I'm doing these videos for you at midnight on a Tuesday for free. What's your favorite shampoo? We got a funny guy here in the chat. I like Nair. That's the type of shampoo I like. Someone ban this man from the chat immediately. Anyone I meet with the name Jane, instantly I'm gonna hate from now on. Here's what you can do to get a neck like mine, okay? Go to the bookstore, get a Bible, bring that Bible home, start praying, go to bed, and wake up tomorrow realizing that you ain't got a fucking shot. It's never gonna happen. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what that means, but I'll do it. Someone told me not to Google it, so I didn't Google it, because the last time someone told me not to Google something and I Googled it, it was disgusting. How about you do some research? I want a 4-page report, 4,000 word count. Send that to my DMs and I promise I will never read it. I would pick whatever option allows me to kill myself, or at the very least gouge out my own eyes. Trader Jane, I don't know if this is the real Jane, but I would like a shout out. Here is your shout out. Go fuck yourself. How about ETC? Would love to hear your thoughts about it. Don't care, not gonna chart it. Bro, would you discuss FTM? Absolutely not. Thank you for asking though. Dumb. Cardano, no. Matic, absolutely not. ENS or CRV? No idea. I'm gonna just say neither. Can I talk about Jane? No. Can you party like the throat goat and still crush it? Absolutely not. What I do is not sustainable at all. I'm probably gonna end up broke and homeless very soon.